What is up, guys? Today is day one of my Shredding for Bora Bora series. I wanted to create this mini series for you guys, just documenting the entire process from start to finish of how I'm gonna get shredded over the next 10 weeks. Today marks day one, guys. I'm super excited. So I'm gonna take you through what I'm doing training wise and what I'm doing nutrition wise to get into the best shape possible in only 10 weeks. So I really quickly just wanna take you guys through my training protocols for the next 10 weeks and explain how I'm actually gonna structure my programming for my training to get into the best shape possible. My training split is going to consist of 1 week of strength training and the second week of hypertrophy or volume training. And the reason being is I want to make sure that I'm giving myself enough rest after one strength training session that I actually recover enough to come back to the next one. And the reason being is I want to make sure that I'm giving myself enough rest after one strength training session that I actually recover enough to come back to the next one. I'm going to be talking a lot about this in other videos as well, but guys, when you are trying to get stronger and you're trying to get bigger, you need to allow more rest after each workout because there's going to be an increase in overload and intensity on every single workout that you need to give yourself more rest before you start the next one. So that's why, guys, I'm gonna structure 1 week of strength training and then the next week's gonna be volume training, and it's gonna be hardcore training for the next 10 weeks. I'm absolutely so excited to get into it, but that's how I'm basically gonna structure it. So to give you an idea, guys, on the type of strength training, for the first week, for example, I'm gonna do 5x5 strength training, and then the next week I'm gonna be doing GVT, so it's gonna be 5 times 15 reps, which is quite a lot of volume, as you probably know. I'm only gonna be having 45 seconds in between, 45 seconds rest in between each set of those 15 reps and those 5 sets. And then I'm gonna come back on the next week, I'm gonna do 5x5s again. I'm gonna try and scale my progress of overload on the next week coming back with the strength training. So it's gonna be really exciting. So the reason I want a good combination of strength training and volume training is that strength training is gonna help me to keep my size and my strength. And hypertrophy training or volume training is gonna help to add the detailing to my physique, and it's also gonna allow me to burn more calories in my session. So I do want a good combination of both. Just while I'm on the topic of training, a lot of guys tell me that it's really hard to get stronger when you are cutting, right? Because I'm gonna be in a calorie deficit, so I will have less calories than if I was bulking. So yes, because I do have less calories, it might be harder for me to gain strength, but it's absolutely still possible. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how. When you're trying to get stronger, it's all about nutrient timing. It's all about the meals leading up to that training session. So if I have a post-workout meal and it's a really well put together meal about an hour before I train, that training session is going to be a lot better than if I had, say, McDonald's before I went and trained. You've got to be really conscious of the fuel that you're putting through your body. The best way to explain this to you guys is imagine that you have a Ferrari. I don't imagine if you were driving a Ferrari that when you went to the gas station you're going to put the worst possible fuel in it. Here in New Zealand we have 2 types of fuel. We have 98 and we have 91. And 91 is the cheaper fuel. You get a little bit more. 98 is the premium fuel that's really good and for more higher class sort of performance vehicles. Now I don't imagine that if you put up in your Ferrari you're gonna put 91 into that Ferrari. It doesn't make sense, right? Imagine if you go into a drag race and you go fill it up with really poor petrol, before you go for a race, it just wouldn't make sense. So why would you do it when you're going to have a workout? You want to be fueling yourselves with the right nutrition before you go and train. And that is how, guys, you get stronger with every workout, making sure that you're fueled with the right performance on every session and also making sure that you're not on a fixed training schedule. If you're doing strength training, I highly recommend talking to someone or getting education from someone that actually knows how to build size and strength. There's so many guys that are going to the gym each week and they're trying to do the same thing week after week, and the body just doesn't really work like that. You can't get bigger and grow the muscles to a certain extent if you're doing the same thing over and over each week. Your body will hit a plateau, you will hit a wall, and you will stop making progress. You need to ensure that you have a variable frequency between your training so that when you come back for that second strength training session, if you're doing, say, for example, you're training chest, that chest training session, there needs to be a further gap between your last session because the intensity is going to scale over time. Simply put, as you get stronger, you need to have more rest between your strength training workouts. So I'm going to be taking you through a few various workouts I'm going to be doing in this program, guys, and in this series. So I will film a lot of the stuff that I do in the gym. Now let's go jump into the nutrition. I want to tell you exactly what I'm going to be eating and how it's going to look, because this is going to be the most important part of this entire series. Let's go. What's up, guys? I've jumped in here in the office to take you through my nutrition over the next 10 weeks. Before I get into that, I just want to tell you the specifics of my goal. Just before I told you guys I want to get in the best shape possible, but I do want to tell you the specifics so you can see exactly how I'm measuring it, how I'm calculating it, and the steps to get to that goal. So my number one goal here is I'm currently weighing 97 kgs. 97.5 to be exact. So my overall goal is to get down to 95 kg. So for me to do that, I need to lose 2.5 kgs of fat, and that's all. That's all that I'm looking to lose, because I want to maintain all my muscle mass while I'm doing this. So I don't want to lose any muscle. I know that that's a big problem for some guys. You know, they do cuts and they lose heaps of weight, heaps of size, and then they try bulk again, and then they get fat, and then they go through this vicious cycle of gaining weight or gaining fat, and then losing mass when they try and cut. Definitely don't want to do that. That's not what I'm about. I want to get down to 95 kgs lean. So I'm currently sitting at 10% body fat, and my goal is to get down to 7% body fat at 95 kgs. So that means, guys, I need to lose 2.5 kgs. It's going to be around 7% body fat. So, you know, it might be like 6.8 or whatever, but yeah, 7% sort of the goal. If I can be at 7%, I know I'm going to be looking pretty damn lean. And as you guys saw before, you know, I'm not overly like obese. I don't have lots of fat to lose. From that 10%, 2.5 kgs of fat's actually quite significant. You know, that sets us up around 5 pounds right there, just over 5 pounds of body fat. So, and that's just fat. So that's going to give me the edge that I'm looking for. And so that's my goal. So we've got 10 weeks to get down to 95 kgs at 7% body fat. Wish me luck. Alright, so let's jump into it, guys. So I'm going to take you through the app that I use. I get all my clients to use because it's the best app to track all your calories throughout the day. It's also really handy for if you're traveling, if you're on the run. One massive problem that people run into is that, you know, life's busy. You know, you're going to be running around all the time. You might have to go to meetings, and you might have to just shoot into a store, grab some food. You can't always be 100% with the meal plan. You know, you're going to sometimes just have to get food out on the run. And so that's why I'd highly advise that you guys get this app and you use it. If you do want to do a cut or a bulk, you need to be making sure that you're tracking, measuring, and scaling your progress. So this is a great way to track your results. I'm not at all affiliated with this, guys, but the app that I use is MyFitnessPal. I'm going to chuck it up on the screen here and show you exactly what I'm going to eat day to day for the next 10 weeks. A wise man once said, the best meal plan is the one that you can stick to forever. It's 100% true. You know, if I gave you a meal plan and straight off the bat you didn't like it, do you really think you're going to stick to it? Definitely not. Okay, so you guys need to find exactly what your macronutrients are and your calories. So you need to work this out first. And then you need to build out the perfect meal plan around that using this app that I'm going to give you a link to. If you do want to also work out your macronutrients and your calories that are specific to your body, I'm going to leave a calorie calculator right below in the link description so you can work out your calories and your macros, and then you can jump in, download the app, and you can start building out the perfect meal plan for you. It doesn't actually really matter what you're eating. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because I don't want you guys going out there and eating pizza every day and Macca's and just being like, Josh said we can eat what we want. You want to be fueling yourselves with the right fuel to perform well, to make sure that you're getting, you know, great results throughout your training. And then also there's obviously tons of benefits around the food that you're eating that's going to help us metabolize fat faster. It's going to turn you into a fat burning machine. It's going to accelerate your results. So don't get me wrong, the food's absolutely important, but the most important factor here in terms of body composition, not taking into account the health, is sticking to the numbers, okay? Sticking to the macros and the calories that your body needs in order to burn fat and to keep muscle. So here we go. So this is my meal plan, and again, it's because I love the foods that's on it. I can stick to it. I find it easy, and for me, it works really well. I'm just gonna take you guys through this. we go. So this is my breakfast, guys. So I'm having crunchy almond, which is basically like, you know, almonds and oats all combined into this beautiful cereal. If you haven't heard of it, it's amazing. The thing on there, guys, is going to be the 100% gold standard whey, which is 2 scoops of protein powder that I use from Optimum Nutrition. It's the best protein on the market, guys. I highly recommend it. I've been using it from the very first day that I started lifting, and it does have excellent macronutrients, so I highly recommend it. Also use coconut milk as well, which goes into the cereal, of course. Again, guys, you don't want to be choosing the most boringest foods in the world, okay? I've competed myself, you know, I'm an NZ IFBB national champion, and even I don't stick to those kind of foods anymore because it just doesn't last. You don't want to resent the diet that you're doing. You don't want to hate you know, what you're eating, because it's just not going to be sustainable. You're never going to ever stick to it, okay? The best diet ever is the one you can stick to forever, so build out what you want to eat and build it out the healthiest you can possible, but build out what you want to eat. So that's breakfast, guys. We've got 508 calories. You can obviously go in there, you can see all the breakdowns as well in terms of the macros. So you got 47 grams of carbs, 4 grams of fat, 6 grams of protein. She's good to go. Snack is the Crunch Bar from Optimum Nutrition and the apple. And then lunch, I've got 200 grams of brown rice, 135 grams, which is just a cup of shredded chicken, sweet chili sauce as well. Again, don't go ridiculous with the sauces, guys. Don't just make them the most boring, you know, gross sauces just to try and be on the safer side. Again, so long as you're sticking to the numbers, your body is gonna find a way to utilize this energy source. So if it's sugar, then, you know, people are going to say, oh, topic, because some people say, you know, sugar's going to release insulin, it's going to suppress fat and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, if you're sticking to these nutrients, guys, even if that does happen, which it can, your body will utilize it because, again, sugar is still a carbohydrate. So your body's still going to utilize those nutrients no matter what throughout the day, so long as you stick to the numbers. I can't emphasize it enough. Stick to the calories, stick to the macros, and you're good. My second snack is rice cakes. I'm gonna have 4 rice cakes with tuna. Again, the flavor of tuna isn't super important. It's just gonna have a little bit more, you know, you might have like a gram or 2 extra in the fat or the sugar, and you might have a little bit more sodium. But again, it's not over. If it means that you're gonna like it, make sure it's aligned with the numbers and you're good. You can only put in 5 meals in MyFitnessPal. So this actually has 2 of my snacks because I'm actually having 6 meals a day. I do recommend, guys, having 5 to 6 meals a day. And the reason is because if you can split up your meals with 2 to 3 hours in between each meal, your body's gonna be running a lot faster internally, meaning you're gonna metabolize fat and burn more calories efficiently if you're having more meals spread out throughout the day. So that was my second snack. I'm gonna have dinner then, okay, and that's gonna be chicken breasts. So that's 100 grams of chicken with brown rice, which is half a cup of brown rice, 1 cup of vegetables, and a tablespoon of soy sauce. So that is my dinner. And then going back to the snack, okay, this will be my last snack for the night, and you guys are probably gonna laugh at this and you're gonna be like, whatever, Josh, don't bullshit me. You can't have this. Last snack of the night, no joke, popcorn. Okay, I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, nah, it can't be right. Okay, popcorn actually has really good macronutrients. You gotta remember, guys, popcorn comes from a seed, it comes from the earth, it's actually got good macros. This is for 50 grams, right? 50 grams of popcorn. We got 34 grams of carbs, only 6 grams of fat, and only 3 grams of protein. So it's actually really clean. It doesn't have any sugar at all. Essentially, it's just a solid form of carbohydrates. I have that every single night, and I'll have that along with 1 more protein shake. So in total, I'm having 3 scoops of protein shakes. Guys, there's no problem with taking 3 scoops of protein shake because they're only 25 gram scoops. So essentially, I'm getting 75 grams of protein from powder. Now, a lot of you guys are probably gonna argue that, but you know, it's okay. I would say 3 is probably the max. You know, bodybuilders take anywhere from 5 to 6 scoops of protein a day. So do not worry, your bodies can completely handle it. I'm taking 3 scoops a day because if you do weigh more, it is harder to get that amount of protein intake in. I'm pretty much having protein food in every single meal, and I still need 3 scoops of protein to ensure that I can actually get my protein intake in. Protein, guys, arguably is the most important macronutrient when you're cutting, not when you're bulking, but when you're cutting, because you want to retain all your muscle mass that you've worked so hard for. Therefore, you know, you want to keep that protein intake high, so when you are training, your body doesn't burn into those sources and you don't lose any muscle mass. And when you are in a deficit, your body is trying to grab at your nutrients and macronutrients, meaning your carbs, proteins, and fats, more aggressively because you are in need of more energy. So having more protein is absolutely crucial when you are cutting. So yeah guys, that's my nutrition, and that pretty much wraps up what I'm going to be doing for the next 10 weeks. So just to recap over the next 10 weeks of what I'm going to be doing in terms of my training and nutrition, the training is going to consist of 1 week of strength training, and the second week is going to be volume training, and then it's just going to keep on doing that all the way to 10 weeks so I can consistently make progress, and I can actually scale those results over those 10 weeks to make sure that I'm actually getting stronger with every workout and I'm getting leaner with every single workout. In terms of nutrition, I am in a pretty aggressive deficit. I'm sitting at 2.3 thousand calories right now. My maintenance calories are 2.9. So, you know, I'm looking at about 500 to 600 calories deficit, which isn't overly aggressive, it's just mildly aggressive. Now, I have to talk about cheat meals because, you know, we can't start this program without me telling you about this. So guys, I am going to have a cheat meal every single week because I am in such a heavy deficit. Now, the number one rule of thumb when you're in a deficit is that when you have that cheat meal, you're not exceeding the amount of calories that you're in a deficit for that week. So let me explain, because I know it's hella confusing. A daily deficit, for example, of 500 calories. That 500 calories will be multiplied by that week, which would be times 7, which means that over the entire week, my accumulated deficit of doing 500 calorie deficit per day would be a total of 3.5 thousand calories. And what that means, guys, is that when I have this cheat meal, all I need to ensure is that I'm not exceeding 3,500 calories, okay? Because that's all that deficit that we've done for the week. So I want to be having about 1,000 calories more in that day to ensure that my leptin level, which is my hormone responsible for burning fat, is being spiked and it's increasing to help utilize calories faster and to burn fat faster. So long as I don't exceed that 3,500 calorie deficit for that week, I'm completely good, and it's just going to help me to actually have more strength in the week. I'm going to have a huge excess of carbohydrates for the next few days to burn off. We call it a cheat meal or a refeed, whatever you want to call it, but it's going to give me lots more energy after a few weeks especially. So I'm going to bring that cheat meal in pretty much straight away. I don't know about you guys, but I love having a solid cheat. So for me, it keeps me on track. It gives me something to look forward to. It spikes your leptin levels, helps you burn fat faster. What more could you want? So yeah guys, that's it for the 10-week Bora Bora shred. I'm going to be obviously doing heaps of videos leading up to Bora Bora, documenting the process, the training, what I'm eating. If you guys want to keep seeing all the updates and how my progress goes throughout this challenge, please hit that like and subscribe button. Ring that bell so you get notified when I drop a new update or a new video, and any comments guys or feedback that you have, please leave them in the comment section and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'm excited to get hella shredded. If you have any other questions, shoot them below. Otherwise, stay tuned, have a great week, and let's get shredded.